Let's get real. People say all kinds of things. They tell you they love you. They promise they'll always be there. They swear they care. But let me ask you something. When have words alone ever built anything of value? Did a house ever get built by someone just saying, "I'm going to build a house"? No. It takes action, effort, and consistency to create something real. And that's exactly how relationships work. If a man truly cares about you, his actions will prove it. It won't just be about what he says when he's in the mood, when he feels guilty, or when he wants something from you. It'll be about what he does consistently over time, when there's no pressure, when no one is watching, and when it's inconvenient for him. Think about this. When someone cares about something, they show up for it. A person passionate about their business puts in the hours. A dedicated athlete trains every day. A loving parent makes sacrifices for their child. It's not about one grand gesture, one moment of effort. It's about their everyday actions. Love, care, and respect are built the same way. If a man says he loves you, but only shows up when he needs you, if he tells you you're special, but you're always the one making plans, if he swears you're important, but forgets to call or text for days, that's not real care. That's convenience. Real care doesn't come and go. It doesn't change based on his mood, his schedule, or his circumstances. It doesn't disappear when something better comes along or when things get tough. A man who truly values you will be consistent. Because consistency isn't just about effort. It's about integrity. It's about proving time and time again that you are not just an option. Now let's talk about inconsistency, because that's how people get played. One day, he's texting you first thing in the morning, calling you baby, telling you how much he misses you. The next, he's cold, distant, barely responding, acting like you're just another person in his life. Maybe he disappears for a while, then comes back acting like nothing happened. And because you remember the good moments, because you're holding on to the sweet words he once said, you ignore the reality of his actions. Let me tell you something. Real love doesn't play hide and seek. It doesn't vanish when it's inconvenient. If someone is inconsistent with their effort, that means they're not truly invested. And when a man isn't fully invested, you become an emotional roller coaster, constantly questioning where you stand, constantly wondering if you did something wrong. That is not love. That is manipulation. And I know what some of you are thinking. But he told me he cares. He told me he's just stressed, that he's not good at expressing his feelings, that he's afraid of getting hurt. Listen, I get it. We all want to believe in potential. We all want to believe that if we just give a little more, if we just wait a little longer, if we just prove our worth, things will change. But here's the truth. People who truly care don't leave you in doubt. They don't make you question how they feel. They don't come in and out of your life like a revolving door. A man who genuinely values you will be consistent. Not just when it's easy, but when it's hard. When he's tired, when he's busy, when life is chaotic, he will still make sure you know where you stand. He will make sure you feel safe in his presence, not anxious about his absence. He will follow through on what he says, because a man's word means nothing without action. So here's what I want you to ask yourself right now. Is the person you're thinking about right now consistent? Not sometimes. Not when he feels like it. Not when he needs something from you all the time. Does he show up? Does he prove his words through his behavior, through his choices, through his everyday actions? Or are you left guessing, doubting, waiting, hoping? Because, let me tell you something. If you have to guess, that's your answer. A man who truly cares won't leave you wondering. He won't leave gaps for confusion. He won't be hot and cold. He won't make you feel like you have to chase him just to get the bare minimum of his attention. His care will be obvious. His love will be clear. And his consistency will be a reflection of how much he truly values you. Let's get straight to the truth. If someone truly cares about you, you will see it in the way they prioritize you. Not in what they say, not in the sweet messages they send when they're in the mood, not in the apologies they throw at you when you start pulling away, but in how they fit you into their life day in and day out. Because here's the reality. People make time for what matters to them. It's as simple as that. If someone values their job, they show up. If someone values their health, they make time to exercise. If someone values their family, they make an effort to be present. And if someone truly values you, they will make you a part of their life. Not just when it's convenient, not just when they're bored, not just when they have nothing better to do, but as a constant, unwavering presence. Too many people stay in situations where they are being treated like an option, while being fed the illusion of being a priority. Maybe he tells you he cares. Maybe he gives you just enough attention to keep you from walking away. Maybe he makes big promises about the future, talking about all the things he wants to do with you, all the ways he plans to show up someday. But here's what you need to understand. Intention means nothing without action. When someone truly prioritizes you, you won't have to question it. You won't have to wonder where you stand. They will show you through their actions, their consistency, and the effort they put into making space for you in their world. They will consider you in their decisions. They will make sure you feel seen and valued. And they will show up even when they're busy, even when they have other responsibilities, even when life gets complicated. And let's talk about what being an option looks like. Because sometimes we don't even realize it's happening. Being an option means you're always the one initiating. You're the one rearranging your schedule to fit theirs. The one waiting for them to find the time. The one making excuses for why they don't show up the way they should. Being an option means you're the backup plan. The person they call when their other plans fall through. The one they keep in their life, just enough to keep you from walking away, but never enough to truly build something meaningful. Let me ask you something. If you're always the one waiting, always the one wondering if you'll see them this week, always the one feeling like you're not quite important enough for them to prioritize, why are you still giving them so much of your energy? A relationship should never feel like a constant battle to be seen. If someone values you, they will show up for you, not just when it's convenient, not just when they're in the mood, but because they want to. Think about the last time this person made a real effort for you, not when they needed something, not when they felt guilty, not when they thought they might be losing you, but when they genuinely wanted to make you feel important. How often does that happen? How often do they go out of their way to see you, to check in on you, to make you feel like a significant part of their life? If you have to dig deep to find examples, that's a problem. Let's make one thing clear. Being busy is not an excuse. Everybody is busy. We all have work, responsibilities, obligations, things pulling us in a million directions. But when you truly care about someone, you make time. Maybe it's not always about spending hours together, but a quick call, a thoughtful message, a small effort to show they're thinking about you. Those things don't take much, but they mean everything. And here's something else you need to realize. People will treat you the way you allow them to. If you keep accepting last-minute plans, they'll keep offering them. If you keep letting them come and go as they please, they'll keep doing it. If you keep justifying their lack of effort, they will never feel the need to change. But the moment you raise your standards, the moment you decide that you deserve to be a priority, not an afterthought, everything shifts. Because when someone truly values you, you won't have to ask them to show up. You won't have to beg for their time. You won't have to wonder if they care. It will be obvious. It will be consistent. It will be real. Let's talk about something that is absolutely critical in any relationship. Respect. Not love, not attraction, not passion, respect. Because without respect, none of those other things matter. A person can claim to love you. They can shower you with attention. They can make you feel wanted. But if they do not respect you, your time, your feelings, your boundaries, then what they're offering is not love. It's control. It's manipulation. It's convenience. Respect is not just about being polite or avoiding outright disrespect. It's about valuing someone as a person. It's about treating them with kindness, even in difficult moments. It's about making choices that show you care about their well-being. It's about never making them feel small, unimportant, or replaceable. Now here's the hard truth. Many people mistake attraction for respect. Just because someone desires you doesn't mean they respect you. Just because someone calls you beautiful, texts you at night, or wants to be close to you, doesn't mean they value you. People can want you for what you provide, your attention, your energy, your body, without actually caring about who you are at your core. And if there is no respect, then that attraction means nothing. So, let's break it down. How do you know if someone truly respects you? First, look at how they handle your boundaries. If you tell them something makes you uncomfortable, do they take it seriously, or do they dismiss it? Do they listen when you say no, or do they push? Do they respect your time, or do they constantly expect you to drop everything for them? Because someone who respects you will never make you feel guilty for having boundaries. They won't get angry or try to manipulate you into bending them. Instead, they will acknowledge them and adjust their behavior accordingly. Second, how do they treat you when they're upset? Anyone can be nice when things are good, but true respect is revealed in difficult moments. If they get frustrated, do they lash out? Do they insult you? Do they ignore you or give you the silent treatment to punish you? Respect means being able to communicate without tearing the other person down. It means handling conflict in a way that prioritizes resolution rather than control. If someone disrespects you when they're angry, that is not just how they are. It is a choice. Another key sign of respect: consistency. Because respect is not something that should exist only when things are easy. If someone is only respectful when they want something from you, when they're trying to win you over, when they feel guilty, when they think they might lose you, that's not real respect. Real respect is steady. It doesn't disappear when it's inconvenient. It doesn't get thrown aside when emotions are high. It is always present. And let's talk about accountability. Because a person who truly respects you will take responsibility for their actions. They won't make excuses. They won't blame you for their bad behavior. They won't try to justify hurting you by saying, "Well, that's just how I am," or "You made me do it." Instead, they will own up to their mistakes. They will apologize sincerely, and most importantly, they will change. Disrespect, on the other hand, often comes with patterns. It starts small, a dismissive comment here, an ignored boundary there. Maybe they cancel plans without explanation. Maybe they don't take your feelings seriously. Maybe they joke at your expense in ways that make you uncomfortable. And at first, you might brush it off, thinking it's not a big deal. But disrespect grows. It builds over time. If you let the small things slide, the bigger things follow. And before you know it, you're in a situation where you are constantly justifying their behavior, constantly making excuses for why they treat you the way they do. So, here's what you need to understand. Respect is not something you should have to fight for. If someone truly values you, they will respect you naturally. You won't have to demand it, beg for it, or constantly remind them to treat you the right way. It will be there in how they speak to you, how they listen to you, how they show up for you. But if someone repeatedly disrespects you, ignores your boundaries, and makes you feel like your feelings don't matter, that is not someone who cares. That is someone who is comfortable taking from you without giving anything of real value in return. And you deserve better than that. Let's get one thing straight. When someone truly cares about you, they don't just say it, they show it. They don't hide behind excuses. They don't expect you to accept inconsistency. They don't leave you questioning their feelings. Because real effort is felt. Real care is obvious. And the truth is, you don't need to decode someone's words when their actions tell you everything you need to know. But here's the problem. Too many people hold on to words, ignoring the reality of what's in front of them. They listen to promises instead of watching behavior. They believe excuses instead of acknowledging patterns. They hold on to the idea of, maybe he's just busy. Maybe he's just going through something. Maybe I just need to be more patient. But let me tell you something. When someone truly wants to be in your life, they make the time. They don't just talk about it. They don't just show up when it benefits them. They make the consistent effort to be present. Think about it. When you really want something in life, you prioritize it. If you want to be successful in your career, you put in the work. If you care about your health, you make time to eat, write, and exercise. If you want to learn a new skill, you commit to practicing. So, why should relationships be any different? If someone truly values you, they will put in the time, the energy, and the effort. Because that's what people do when something matters to them. But here's where people get stuck. They confuse occasional effort with real investment. Maybe he texts you out of the blue after days of silence. Maybe he makes plans but cancels last minute. Maybe he tells you he misses you, but never actually makes time to see you. And you tell yourself, at least he's trying. But trying isn't enough if the effort isn't consistent. A man who genuinely cares about you doesn't show up only when it's convenient. He shows up always, even when he's busy, even when he's tired, even when life gets in the way. And let's talk about excuses, because they are one of the biggest red flags in any relationship. People who aren't truly invested always have a reason why they just can't right now. Work has been crazy. Things are complicated. I'm just not in the right headspace space. And you, because you care, because you want to believe in them, accept these excuses. You tell yourself, if I just give him time, he'll change. But let me ask you, how much time have you already given? How long have you been waiting for the effort that never comes? Because here's the truth. People make time for what they care about. They make an effort when it matters to them. And if someone is full of excuses, but never full of action, that's not a lack of time. It's a lack of interest. And I know what some of you are thinking. But he told me he loves me. But he said he's just struggling right now. But he promised things would be different. Listen to me. Words without action or manipulation. A man who genuinely loves you will not put you in a position where you feel uncertain, anxious, or unloved. Does not leave you questioning. Love does not make you chase. Love does not show up only when it needs something. And let's talk about energy, because that is what truly tells you everything you need to know. Stop listening to what he says and start paying attention to how you feel when you're around him. Do you feel safe? Do you feel prioritized? Do you feel seen and valued? Or do you feel like you're constantly waiting, constantly hoping, constantly trying to prove your worth? Because love isn't supposed to feel like a battle. You shouldn't have to beg for basic effort. You shouldn't have to wonder whether he actually cares. And let's make something clear. Real effort isn't about grand gestures. It's not about big promises, expensive gifts, or dramatic apologies. Real effort is in the little things. The way he checks in on you. The way he remembers what matters to you. The way he prioritizes your happiness even when there's nothing in it for him. If you have to ask for effort, if you have to fight for attention, if you have to remind him to treat you right, he is not the one. Because at the end of the day, love is not complicated. If someone wants to be with you, they will be. If they care, you'll feel it. If they're invested, they will show up without excuses, without games, without making you wonder where you